Hi guys, sorry for no picture. Hopefully you'll still listen to my video because it's all about anxiety. So if any of you suffer with an anxiety disorder out there or get anxious from time to time, then I'm the person to really talk to. Okay, the reason why I've actually got it as a black screen is because my microphone doesn't quite reach when I have it far away from me, so I have to have it as close as possible really. So yeah, all about anxiety, and I apologise, I'm really unwell, got a really bad cold, but all about anxiety. Anxiety is a really horrible thing to actually suffer from because it's so disabling, and it also depends how severe you get anxiety. It depends what is bringing on your anxiety, because really you have to have the thoughts before the symptoms come. Okay, so if you're scared of something, say you're in a situation you're scared of, say you've crowded with spiders, that might be more of a phobia, but it makes you anxious anyway, because anxiety is basically nerves, but nervousness is on a scale of 1 to 10, and anxiety beats that, it's on 11, gone past that scale. But the best thing to do when you're ever anxious is to rate your anxiety to see how high it is, and I bet the more you rate it, the lower it goes down. There are tips to help anxiety. Don't leave it untreated, and don't be ashamed for having an anxiety disorder, and tell people you have one and you get horrible thoughts and you want help with it, because the more you actually keep it a secret, you think it's helping, but it's not, it's making it completely worse. Some people are so ashamed to have what they have because they think, well, I can't be like anyone else, but some people out on the streets have anxiety. It's just like a hidden mental disorder. You can't actually really see it. You know, there are hidden disorders out there mentally, you can't see them physically. So yeah, but with anxiety you get all these horrible physical sensations, like the heart beating really fast, you might get chest pains, hot and cold flushes, sweatiness, pins and needles, weak limbs, sickness, headaches, diarrhea, or anything like that. Anxiety is so nasty it can trick you into thinking you have some serious life-threatening illness. Now thinking like that is going to make you feel a lot more anxious, okay? So you've got to sort of ease your anxiety down a bit to a lower level so you can cope with it a little bit more. Because the more you think of something really bizarre, the more anxious you're going to feel, okay? You don't have to necessarily be anxious when you're out and about. You can be anxious just by sitting in your own house, watching telly on your sofa or something, watching your favourite DVD. You can still sort of have these thoughts. Now, a lot of anxiety sufferers are very intelligent because they're creative. They think of very bizarre things and thoughts. It doesn't always have to be negative. It can be really happy thoughts as well. But usually to be anxious you need a lot of negative messages to be in your brain to feel anxiety. Now the symptoms are completely harmless, and they're not going to damage you in any way. They might feel harmful, but they aren't. There are ways to deal with anxiety. You go to cognitive behavioural specialists. They're the professionals, and they specialise in how to treat your anxiety and could possibly cure it actually for good. Now there's loads of methods like the Charles Linden method. Now he talks about anxiety really well, and he used to have it for a number of years, and now he's got family and everything. He's absolutely fine, but he actually did a tip. I don't know what the tip is. You have to buy the DVD, and it costs quite a lot, but apparently it's actually cured billions of people out there who suffer with anxiety. You might have the trigger for anxiety can sometimes be not identified. You might not have a trigger at all, it might just be random, but usually it's genetics. If you've got someone that worries a lot in your family, you could be a worrier too. Not necessarily, you could just be random. Or anxiety could be from a traumatic event in the past or something like that, or something that's really terrified you and you get flashbacks from it, might create more anxiety, anything like that. Now anxiety can happen at any age, even like for 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds, but it usually occurs when you're a bit older, like in your 20s, or your hormones are all over the shop, because you have more thoughts, I suppose. But everyone thinks, and we go through billions and tons of thoughts per day, whether that's more negative or more positive. Now if you're completely positive throughout the day, you're not going to get anxious at all, because your brain has so many chemicals made up, and it gets like the serotonin is the happy chemical you get, which is released usually when we exercise, when we feel happy. But when we're generally like feeling sad and negative, we're gonna always feel on edge, feel anxious all the time. Now, anxiety is a horrible feeling, but you've got to think of it as in a positive perspective, because anxiety is just a test, it's just a challenge to see how you cope in stressful situations in your lifetime. Now, everyone gets scared, everyone gets anxious at times, whether it's starting your driving lessons, starting a new job, meeting new friends, a new person, anything like that can trigger anxiety. People have even said on Facebook forums that their anxiety is usually in shops where it gets overcrowded. It's because they hesitate, because they can't get to their items, there's too many people crowded to them, so they feel trapped. And a lot of people feel trapped when they're like sat there driving along and they get stopped for the traffic lights, okay, they panic because they can't escape at all. They have to sit in that car, so they feel trapped. Okay, now, everyone's anxiety is different, because some people get different triggers and everything like that. Now, whatever your trigger is, it's the best thing to actually focus on and not to avoid it, because to avoid your fears is sometimes the worst thing you can do. So face your fears in life, even if it's faults, face them, and think of it as in a positive way of your fault. If you think of it in a horrible way, it's going to scare the hell out of you. Really is. So you've got to think of anxiety in a really positive perspective. The sensations, the symptoms, this is what I mean by sensations, because sensations is nothing but emotions, it's nothing harmful, but the symptoms of anxiety are nasty and they're very disabling. A lot of people become agoraphobic because they can't go outside because their anxiety levels are so high. But seriously, it's best to not avoid situations, it's best just to face them, because the next time you go into that situation, the easier it's going to become for you. But there are ways to help anxiety, like I said, the CBT, the cognitive behavioural therapy, and there's things like psychiatrists can help you. It's just doesn't mean you're mental, it's just changing the way you think in life, okay? If you think of something bad's going to happen to you, it's not going to happen to you, by the way, it's just your thoughts are so powerful. Like I said in the start of the video, I said you might be more of a creative person in your head, creating a really scary image, like, oh, I'm going to have a heart attack or something. You might have social anxiety, you might have health anxiety, I don't know. There's all sorts of different sort of types of anxiety out there that people actually don't know about. When people say, what is anxiety? Now I say, anxiety is just created by loads of negative messages that are built up from time to time to make that person feel very scared, numb, sick, chest pains, and all these horrible physical sensations they come with anxiety. Now, anxiety is just a real bummer to have in a way. It's nice not to be anxious, to have fun, to go out there and be happy and positive, see your friends, have a good old laugh. But with someone that's anxious all the time will be around a friend probably thinking of, oh, this might happen to me, this might happen to me, this might happen to me, getting really, really scared. And the person might not actually see that person being scared, because anxiety can be really hidden well by others, but some people don't hide it very well. They can just, other person could just tell if that person's anxious. People that twist their hair around or something like that, that's a sign of anxiety. People that bite their fingernails can be a sign of anxiety, but some people won't be just picking their nails because they've got a nail hanging off or something. But generally it's because people are anxious, okay, so I don't really usually recognise that, but yeah. Shakiness is obviously a sign of anxiety, that's the common one, that's the one that's shown the most. When your facial expressions are all, I don't know, you're not showing you're happy, if you're shaking a lot, it's usually because you feel anxious, okay, so that's shown quite visibly. Okay, this video's gone on for too long, and I've rambled for too long. Like I said, sorry there's no picture, but with the microphone's right near me, you're going to hear me much more clearer than my other videos. But do check out my other videos, guys, and comment if you feel you need to and stuff. I'd love to hear your feedback, see what you guys... So your guys' input is. Any rude comments or any negative feedback, I am going to delete it because I can't be bothered with all that rubbish. Please subscribe as well, and I look forward to talking to you lot. Wherever you're from, if you're from the UK, America, India, I don't know, Afghanistan, anything like that, I don't care where you're from. It'd be nice to hear your input if you suffer with anxiety, or you have a friend struggling with it, or a family member, neighbour, whoever you want to get help for, or you want help to help yourself. Talk to me, seriously. I've got to try to help beat your anxiety, okay? Not let it ruin your life, okay? I've got a really bad cold, I've got to go. If you prefer to talk to me privately, please send me a private message. If not, just comment on my board. Thank you.